Hi guys, welcome back to part 7. Now we're going to be filming slightly out of order because I've already done the filming for this part so far, and I'm coming back a day or two later to film this part because earlier on today a Twitter friend called Rob asked a question about matte varnishes, and myself and Mr Foxx got into what we use and what he uses, what I use, and the pros and cons and stuff like that. For Rob's benefit, for anybody else interested, I use this as my matte coat. It does say satin on there, but it does dry more of a matte finish than the satin. It is a resin base. It does tell you one here somewhere. I'm sure it does. Possibly not. No, it doesn't. So I would tend to use this as a last thing for the day. Kind of. That doesn't make any sense. Use your words, Tony. I'd use this last thing before actually turning in for the rest of the day, simply because it really does need a good 8 hours at least to dry. The longer you can leave it, the harder it will cure. Just to give you an idea, I think I did mention this in one of the other videos, I can't quite remember now, because I filmed the majority of this over 10 days ago, something like that. You stay there. There's overspray on here. And if you can see there, that's the original plastic where it's really shiny. Down here is where the satin coat is, and it really does tone everything down, which I'm hoping I can demonstrate on here, which is the test piece I've shown already in one of the very early clips. So it's a box standard thing. Have your airbrush ready. Pressure's a little bit too high. I've got one of these things that I picked up for a few quid off eBay. You can actually adjust your pressure here rather than fogging it all the way down there. Just be careful though, because don't screw too far. Goes belting across your room, and it's fantastic trying to find it again. So we'll turn the pressure around a little bit. Just a little bit too high. You can actually see how much pressure's there now. That's still running about 20 psi. The indentation's not quite as high. That's off. So come back in. That's around about 10. Off the top of my head. Just gives you a little bit more control. Give this stuff a good old shake. Now the question, or one of the things that Rob was worried about, is he's used Vallejo varnishes before. He's worried that it tends to gum up the airbrush itself. Now this is a box standard Iwata Revolution CR. I've had for about 8 years, and I've completely knackered this up by leaving varnishing overnight, which I'd completely forgotten about and didn't realise. You know, if you don't clean this thing out properly, then it will gunk up. And as you've seen all the way through the videos, I've been using this completely normally. So it is recoverable, and I'll show you how to do that once we've done this varnish. So I'm just making sure my nozzle's clean, and as always, run through first, make sure everything's working okay. It's all lovely and shiny, get rid of that. Okay, so if I can try and catch that light there, hopefully you'll see this tone right down. So not too close. And try and do this in a couple of light coats rather than one almighty wallop, which I'll show you here if I can. One almighty wallop is that way back, and you absolutely flood it. Just find your sweet spot and do a couple of light passes rather than the almighty wallop. The only thing with this stuff is you do need to keep the end of your nozzle clean. The vortex that builds up around it tends to leave a big dollop on the end of your nozzle. Needle, not nozzle, needle. Oh, where's that light? There you are. Alright then. Just a quick pass. just do half of this, just to give you an idea. So it's all nice and shiny because it's wet. You can see the opposite side. So that's still a gloss coat. I think that was Future. We've got that side there. So we'll leave that for an hour, then I'll come back. And as you can see there, I've still got a decent amount left in the brush. Rather than waste it, very, very carefully, put you back there a second. Very, very carefully pour this back into your bottle. Now this is where I'm absolutely terrified. This is where I normally knock stuff over. It all goes flying and I end up with varnish everywhere. So just for now, disconnect the hose with a quick release thing that I've just shown you. As you can see there, there's still a fair amount of varnish at the bottom. Just try and get some light. There we go. Fair amount of varnish. Now I could blow that through. What I prefer to do is tip it away. So where's that rag go? There we go. Because if that's already drying in there, you're going to blow it through and block your nozzle completely. So just take the excess out with just box standard blue roll or kitchen roll, whatever you have to hand. Take the majority of it out. Reconnect the hose. Now there's a couple of ways of doing this. Box standard X20A. You can either use one of these dropper tops from an old airbrush cleaner bottle, like that, it fits perfectly, it's just direct swap, or we can use these pipette things. Either's just as good, so for the sake of argument, shift, take a pipette full. Now the reason I stopped using these is because I tended to do that and then, yeah, knock it over. So move that out of the way. So generous amount. Get an old brush. Have a good old wallop around. I'm saying wallop a lot today. I think it's because there was a few people in work that really did want to wallop because they were bothering me. Something chronic. Quick swish around in the cup itself to make sure there's no gribblies and greeblies. And whilst that brush is still wet, I have a quick run round on the nozzle, nozzle business end. Pull the needle back, give yourself a wipe. At the same time, you're cleaning in there at the business end. And then don't blow through. That's the worst thing you can do, because if there is any dried up bits, you're going to blow it through your nozzle and completely block it. Tip away. Now that's good to go now. If I want to do another colour, I would now blow through just to get rid of the excess that's in here, but you're not blowing through everything that's in the cup. Put the crown guard back on. This is literally about 20 minutes after we put the varnish on there. So we've got the half and half. That's unsatined, that's with the satin. There is a definite difference. I'm not too sure if the camera's picking that up or not, but it's definitely there in person. Like I say, give that a good overnight at least. If you can leave it for a full day, then do so, if you've got the time to do that kind of thing. And then the longer it cures, the firmer it will become. It's very similar to these primers. that they brought out a while back. At first I thought, oh, this is brilliant, and then literally 6 hours after priming I'd go and do the top coat. Well, this stuff hadn't gone off yet, because this stuff takes about 7 days to fully cure, and it was really annoying me. Well, that stuff needs at least overnight. It's a similar formula, but it's not the same as the primers. So I really do hope that helped, Rob. Like I say, I tend to use that one. If I can find it again, it's gone. Poof! Where have you gone? I literally had you 2 minutes ago. Well, 20 minutes ago. There you are. I tend to use this during the winter, when you can't get outside with the big rattle cans, which have disappeared as well. Where did I put those? I have the big Vallejo, you can't see my hands, can you? The big Vallejo rattle cans for the rest of the work. That's during the summer when it's a little bit warmer and you can get out and leave something outside for a few hours to air dry before you bring it back indoors. But during the winter you can't do that. So that's when I use this more. I hope that covered everything, Rob. And again, it's it's a personal choice. By all means, try the Humbrol stuff. I haven't tried it, so I can't give you an opinion of it. But try what works for you. The other point I was going to make as well, Rob, is stay away from these little dropper bottles if you can. Even though they've got the black cap on, which is supposed to be for model air anyway. It's supposed to be pre-thinned, and it's not. You actually have to thin this yourself. So stay away from these ones. This one's actually built for, or designed for, remote control cars. So it's actually designed specifically for airbrushes. So get this stuff if you can. I believe they do a matte and a gloss as well, but I always stick with the satin. It's the only one I've ever tried, and it works for me for dulling everything down. I mean, that's had 2 coats of satin, and it's pretty matte compared to how it was when it's glossy. So let me know if that helps or not. Ooh, shift you. Hello, welcome back. So, oh dear, knocking stuff over already. See, clumsy. Don't leave stuff lying around like that. No, stop. Welcome back. Forgive me. Croaky throat. I just had a weekend away with the missus and the stepkids, and it was wonderful. So that's the Easter holiday that we didn't quite get round to because the kids were with the dad and stuff like that. But that's, yeah. Point being, we've had a couple of days drying time with the varnishes and so on. So now it's time for the fun bit. We can start rebuilding. So that's a great noise. Oh, on with the nitrile gloves. Oh dear. So I'm not leaving fingerprints everywhere. I'll see if I can get this frog out my throat as well. Bear with me.
Ah, are you ready, comedy partner? Waka waka.
What was that? Never mind. Yeah. How have you all been? You okay? Nope, that's the wrong one straight away. That's a good start. Or is it? Hold on. Just bear with me while I'll have a look at the instructions.
Ah!
What was that? Do you know, there's some nonsense going on around these parts again. Okay, instructions, 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 instructions. I figured it out. That'd help, wouldn't it? Oh, you silly boy. battery sign. Okay, let's get all these little tabby things lined up. It's at this point where you think to yourself, oh, it doesn't fit. It does. Be patient. There we go. So that's that one. It's okay. I'm a bit too close, too far. There we go. That's that one. One of these things that goes that way, and that part goes into the knee. Now, did have, I think it was one of the early videos, a debate with myself and then a couple of other people via Twitter whether or not to take that tab off. Decided against it. It is a tight enough fit that it should be able to hold its weight, but I think that is load bearing. You've still got a decent amount of room there, anywho. If I put that in the right way around. Yes, I have. But it's when it joins onto the chassis that we may have the most problems. I could be wrong. I often am. I'm only human. I'm about to be wrong, aren't I? Don't tell the missus. I said that out loud. She'll have my guts regardless. There's something about that that's screaming wrong. Why's that screaming wrong? It looks okay. It's in there, where it's load bearing. So if we pop you off. I suppose as well, we've still got the old Wibble when he's having a bit of a fit when the Ewoks trip him up, which I'm still debating whether to do or not. Yeah, it's again a semi-recline pose, so there's still a little bit of posability there. Remember the golden rules: if it feels like it's not going to fit or it's not going to budge, leave it be. Stop faffing, don't try and force anything. So need a bit lower. There we go. And that's about as far as I can go with that part, because I forgot to do the neck ball jointy thingy doodah, which is still very, very wet with gloss varnish, because that's got to be weathered yet. Put you back. I still have to work on all that little lot in there, all these ancillary parts, which we can do all in one. It looks like it's about to fall over. That's cool. We can do that all in one when I build the cockpit. Yes, I've got the giddy hands back. Okay, giddy hands back, not handbag. Okie doke. So it's like the seating area here, and wallop that plate in, like so. Oh, that looks gorgeous already. And then come on, cooperate. Lining that tab there. There we go, that's why. That slidey tab there. That slidey tab in the back corner. and a spigot hole just in there. Glorious. It really is. And then we take that side, so we line a slidey tab with a slidey tab just there, pointy stick, you'll do just there, with the two tabs at the back and the tab in the top corner. Nice slidey smooth fit, satisfying crunch. That looks glorious. I'm happy with how that turned out, I really am. And this, I want to pose it that way around so you can see all that, but I can't because it goes in there like that. That's literally all you're going to see of it through a tab hatch, wherever that is. Look at that. That looks miles better, in my opinion, than grey. Yeah, I definitely prefer that version. I like that. There's the lady's face on. Like so. And the back panel. Like so. This is where you really see it come together. Should you have gone on first? Right way around would help. I think you should have gone. There's a silly Tony. I'm a silly Tony. There we go. Glorious. It really is. Right, I'll leave you off because we've got paint in here. Show the people, Tony, that might help. Yeah, so I'm going to leave this off for the time being. We can get to it. So I'm getting all giddy now. Headlights on, we've got shadows everywhere. So take that off. Come on. There we go. Take you off. The right way round. Click. Again, we've got all kinds of little tabs that line up. So again, if you feel like it's not going to go, don't force it. Have a check. You're doing something wrong. Oops. Don't do that. Maybe jump then. See, now I've got that big gap now that popped. So something's not quite lining up. Stop, take it apart, try again. Stop clicking and crunching like that, will you? You're frightening me. How many people are sat there cringing like mad? I know I am. That's a solid ring. There we go. Right then, so going off the fact that these pieces overlie the main bodywork, I'm going to fill these sections in first, just around there and there and down here. Put these plates over, carry on, and do this section. Get the right one, that'd help. Put that section over the top, like so, and then do this as a last thing. And then while I'm doing all that, cover the rest of these ancillary parts, like that and that, and get a coat on that, I think. I've already had a coat. Stop talking, Tony, get some paint on. Okey-doke. So, I'm talking to the fella behind the camera right now. Leave that to dry before you do any kind of varnishing, okay? Otherwise you'll ruin it like you did with the other thing that you had to fix in part 4. Did one of those things pop up in the corner then? Let me know if it did, because I'm still testing that part of the YouTube out. Okay, so that's basically all I can do tonight, because I've got to leave that to dry before I can do the varnishing, but it's rolling on late again. As always, thank you for stopping by. It means a huge amount. Even if you don't like or leave any comments or anything like that, the fact that I'm getting the views to start with is a huge thing for me. So thank you. I really do need to start scripting these things. Nope, can't think of anything. Thank you for stopping by. It means a huge deal. Hopefully the next part you'll get to see this coming together properly, and it won't be it's just this, it's just that, like I've been doing so far. So when you come back, this will be varnished, and then we'll go through giving it a wash with one of these gunk wash type thing. Abteilung. You can't say it without sounding like Richard Hammond. I said Richard Gere then. Ooh, one thing we will be doing as well in the next part is concentrated on painting these figures and him. Yes, he's been painted grey so I can see the seams. Where have you gone? So I can take care of the tabs and the seam at the bottom, like so. My dog's waiting for me to take her out again, from the sounds of it. So, yep. Next part, we'll... Ooh, blurry. Focus. We'll finish this. We'll make it blend in with this lot. And we'll get that together and we'll finish weathering these. We'll paint these and hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully that should be the end of the build. Thank you for stopping by. Take care of yourselves. See you soon.
Ah!